I was exhausted. I would wake up and ask God, why? Why did you give me another day? Why did you breathe air into my lungs? What's my purpose?
I'm so tired.
Why am I here? My mind was heavy, my environment was draining, and I couldn't stand the job I was in. What made it worse was that I knew I was blessed. I had a new apartment, a new marriage, 2 cars, 2 dogs that loved each other. On the outside, everything looked beautiful, but on the inside,
The same old every single day. Nothing new. Nothing changed. The same old.
I felt empty, unfulfilled, guilty, and ungrateful.
I don't have any peace internally. There's no fucking peace because you don't have any fucking peace. You don't have any peace.
My name is Angelica. At the beginning of this year, I vowed to myself and to God, nothing and no one would pull me away from Him. Not my family, not my friends, not a job, not my environment, and not even me. For 15 years, I was caught in a cycle. Weed numbed me, alcohol confused me. I turned 30 last October, and I knew I couldn't bring that into a new decade. But the truth is, I struggled a lot. I grew up watching the people around me settle. They battled with addiction. They fought with money, with depression, with the weight of life. And eventually, they stopped fighting. As a little girl, I promised myself that I would never settle. I believed happiness was enough. If it made me happy and it didn't hurt anyone, then it must be okay, I told myself. But that mindset didn't hold up. Over the years, I lost that promise. The things I once thought made me happy started to hurt me. What once numbed the pain started creating it. I became paralyzed by anxiety, stuck in stagnation, living a life that felt dull, knowing God had more for me. I listened to testimonies at church, stories of how God instantly freed people from cravings and sin. I'd sit there wondering, when will that happen for me? Then our church started a new series called Glorified in the Highest. And suddenly, the questions I had been crying out for started being answered. Who am I? 1 Peter 2:9. You are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession. Why am I here? Isaiah 43:7. Everyone who is called by my name, whom I created for my glory. And the question that sat heavy on my chest, what is my purpose? Simple. To give God glory in the highest form. The shift didn't come until I got brutally honest with myself and with God. I'd been trying to do it all on my own, but I was running on empty. I needed help. I needed Him. At the start of Lent, I finally surrendered. I came across a book called The Artist's Way, and God used it to unlock something in me. My creativity, my voice. They have their own beauty, and I can't compare a poppy to a lavender plant. I can't compare a sunflower to a daisy. Like, they're two different types of beauty. So why am I trying to be so perfect? Sometimes flowers, not sometimes, flowers die, and during that process they turn brown and they wilt. It's not really a pretty process. I remember this picture. And it's called the Bridge of Faith. The Bridge of Faith. And I have this here for a reason. My dreams that I had buried for years. And I saw this painting. Bridge of Faith. The Garden of Promise. The Garden of Promise. If I walk this bridge of faith, I will walk in to the land of promise, to the promised land, to everything that God has promised me, everything that God has in store for me, because God keeps his word. And I know that he does. But I gotta walk by faith. One line from the book stood out. When we engage the Creator to heal us, shifts begin to happen. And they did. I started moving at a pace I didn't even recognize. I started reading more. So I just started reading this book, Share Your Work by Austin Kleon, one of the YouTubers that I watch. I should probably know his name because I watch him, but I don't. He shared this book, and this is the book that led him to make 6 figures online. Dude has over 1 million followers. Not saying that I want 1 million followers, but like, he shared his work and he was able to make 6 figures off of his blog, off of posting online, off of sharing his writing. I kind of love that. I created a writing routine. I let myself create without shame or pressure. Through it all, I began to reconnect with the dreams God had planted in me.
One thing that they don't tell you about owning or creating, starting a small business is that it's hard.
The fog began to lift, and I started to see the woman God always saw when he looked at me. Surrendering to God has changed everything. And if you're walking through something similar, I just want you to know you're not alone. God meets us exactly where we are. James 4:8. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you.